I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great.
Breaking news. The Las Vegas Aces have lost half their team, 2 top assistant coaches, and their GM all in the same offseason. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is. But wait, there's more. Add in a pending lawsuit and rumors of under-the-table deals, and you've got yourself a full-blown implosion. So what's behind this mass team exit? Yourself a full-blown implosion. So what's behind this mass team exit? And what's driving A'ja Wilson to tears? Looks like what happens in Vegas doesn't always stay in Vegas, especially when it comes to team drama. Are you ready? Let's go. You know what they say about karma? Well, you know what they say about karma? Well, it seems like it's coming back to bite the Las Vegas Aces in a big way. Remember when they were on top of the world, back-to-back champs with a roster that seemed unbeatable? Those days are looking more and more like a distant memory. Let's rewind for a second. The Aces were riding high, their swagger on full display. A'ja Wilson and Becky Hammon were practically untouchable, or so they thought. But then came that semifinals loss to the New York Liberty, and suddenly, the cracks started to show. Now Coach Hammon's words after that loss are starting to sound less like confidence and more like a warning. She said the team wouldn't be the same in 2025. At the time, we all thought she meant they'd come back stronger. Turns out, she might have been predicting a total melting. The first domino to fall, Kate Martin. The fan favorite and spark plug was left unprotected in the expansion draft. And before you could say, what were they thinking? The Golden State Valkyrie snatched her up. It's like the Aces gift wrapped one of their most promising young players and handed her to a rival. But that was just the beginning. The real shocker came when Kelsey Plum, the sharpshooter extraordinaire, decided not to sign an extension. Next thing you know, she's been traded to the Los Angeles Sparks in a deal that had fans scratching their heads. Sure, they got Jewel Lloyd in return, but at what cost? Especially since Plum is younger, more efficient, and doesn't demand the ball as heavily as Lloyd. And let's talk about that bench. You know, the one that was supposed to be the Aces' secret weapon? Well, it's not so secret anymore because it's practically empty. Sydney Colson, A'ja Wilson's bestie, gone to the Indiana Fever. Tiffany Hayes? She's joining Kate Martin over at the Golden State Valkyries. And Alicia Clark? She's headed back to her old stomping grounds with the Seattle Storm. It's like watching a game of musical chairs. Except when the music stopped, the Aces were left without a seat. 5 key players lost, their entire rotation up in smoke. You've got to wonder what's going on behind the scenes to cause this mass exodus. Tiffany Hayes, fresh off winning the 6th Player of the Year award, is jumping ship to join the Valkyries. This isn't just any player leaving. We're talking about someone who averaged 9.5 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game last season, and is showing she's still got it whenever she's playing it unrivaled. Hayes was a crucial signing for the Aces when she came out of retirement, and now she's walking away. It's like watching your key player take their ball and go home, except in this case, they're taking their ball to a whole new team. And let's not forget about that semifinals loss to the Liberty. It wasn't just a loss, it was a wake-up call. Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, and Chelsea Gray, the Aces' offensive powerhouses, combined for a measly 28 points. That's not just a bad day. That's a red flag waving in your face, screaming that something's seriously wrong with your scoring strategy. You want numbers? Let's talk numbers. The Aces have lost approximately 40% of their scoring output from last season. That's not a dip. That's a nosedive. It's like watching a high-flying circus act suddenly realize they forgot to put up the safety. So what's driving this mass exodus? Is it the rumored locker room tensions? The whispers about Wilson's ego getting too big for the Sin City? Or is it something deeper, a rot at the core of what was once the WNBA's model franchise? One thing's for sure, this isn't just a bump in the road for the Aces. This is a full-on crisis. They're not just losing players, they're losing their identity. The dynasty that seemed unshakable just months ago is now looking about as stable as a house of cards in a Vegas windstorm.